Hello everyone and welcome to our live coverage of Transporter 12 mission launch from the west coast, that is from the Pad Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. Hope you all are doing fine and excited about the upcoming SpaceX launch. Hi, my name is Dipto Maitra and I'll be your host providing commentary for today's mission launch. And you are watching AstroYonder live.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around.
Houston, we see a nominal MECO. Welcome to space.
Hi there everyone. Firstly, would like to apologize from all of you for getting late to start the stream. So today's mission is the Transporter 12, a dedicated SmallSat rideshare mission by SpaceX, launching 131 payload on board. SpaceX SmallSat rideshare program offers affordable options for small satellite operators. Now, SpaceX is currently targeting a Falcon 9 liftoff at 11:09 a.m. Pacific Time, 2:09 p.m. Eastern Time from Vandenberg Space Force Base for SpaceX, launching Transporter 12 mission following a southwest trajectory. This is the 12th dedicated SmallSat rideshare mission by SpaceX and the first of this year. SpaceX today already adjusted one time their liftoff time, but as it's a Vandenberg flight, there will be no more delays, I guess so, until there is no serious problem. Now, before moving on to the mission details, firstly, on behalf of AstroYonder team, we express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone for being a part of today's launch. We really appreciate you being here. Big thanks to our amazing YouTube community for being here today as we provide detailed coverage of space launches, complete with extensive stats and thorough insights. Now we are super excited to bring you the coverage of Transporter 12 launch, marking the 7th Falcon 9 and the SpaceX's overall launch of this year. As I already got late to start the stream, so just a heads up, it's me running the show for all our launches. So if we hit any technical issues, hang tight. No, don't worry, you don't have to go anywhere else. And there is nothing to worry. I will do my best to walk you through the Falcon 9 rocket launching for today's Transporter 12 mission in about 46 minutes, 50 seconds and counting. So now let's get back to today's mission. So far, SpaceX reports that the weather is looking good for today's Falcon 9 launch and the range is ready to support, but although today is a Vandenberg flight, so we don't get any specific weather forecast, launch forecast from the 45th weather squadron specifically. Otherwise, I did check the weather. It's fine. There will be no probability of violation, I guess so. But if for some reason we don't have the launch today, we do have an additional opportunity tomorrow, that is Wednesday, January 15th, with a 27 minutes of launch window opening at 10:49 a.m. Pacific time. Now let's quickly jump into the payload details. That is the most interesting part for today's launch. 131 payloads on board, including CubeSats, microsats, and orbital transfer vehicle, carrying 30 of those payloads, and 14 of which will be deployed at the later time. Today, there will be in the mission timeline, let me just tell you, just for a quick knowledge. Generally, for a Starlink mission, or we see the SECO 2 up to the SECO 2, but today we will be having up to SECO 4, means the second stage will be restarting for the fourth time. So within that latter time, those 14 of the payloads will be deployed. On your screen, you can see some of the payload images of the SmallSat and the CubeSat. This only took me such long so that I got a little late starting the stream, because I had to research and to find every satellite, and still I didn't manage to have all the satellite pictures to show you guys, but I did my extensive research so that I can show you some images of the satellites. Now the 131 payloads on board, that's a big number, but just a reminder, it's not a record for most payloads sent up on a single launch. That was when SpaceX set the benchmark back in 2021 with their Transporter 1 mission, launching 143 satellites. Now, SpaceX has launched a total of 13 rideshare missions to date, the 11 transporter flights, and 2 in a different program known as Bandwagon, which is recently launched by them. Together, these missions have lifted about 1,100 payloads for more than 130 different customers from different nations. The Transporter 12 payload will be deployed into low Earth orbit from Falcon 9's upper stage over a roughly 90-minute stretch beginning about 54 minutes after launch. The rocket's first stage, meanwhile, is on its way back to the landing site at Vandenberg. Today it's a landing site 4 for that, and it will be making its landing about 7.5 minutes after liftoff. Now I'm providing an overview of the payload, and I will discuss them in more details when the second stage will be in a coast phase before starting deploying the small satellites. Now I'm just telling you the key highlights and the milestones. Today there are 36 Super Dove CubeSats, each capturing Earth imagery at approximately 10 feet, 3 meters per pixel resolution, and will be deployed to enhance planet's Earth observation capabilities. We have Pelican 2 satellite. This advanced satellite offers imagery with significantly improved resolution, and it is equipped with NVIDIA's Jetson platform for an on-orbit AI computing. Previously, we know that NVIDIA launched a satellite one time. Now, I guess is the second time they are doing so. Although I'm not pretty sure about that, but to my extent of knowledge, it seems like it is the second one. Now, enabling this satellite will be enabling the near real-time data processing for applications like object detection and disaster response. Now, today's payloads are mostly being deployed, like a major portion of them is being deployed by Exolaunch, a German-based company who managed the integration and development of 35 customer satellites as of in today's payload, including 28 directly and providing deployment hardware for additional 7. These satellites represents a diverse international collaboration, and you can say not collaboration, like their motives from different countries such as Bulgaria initiatives. I was running short of the words. International initiatives from countries such as Bulgaria, India, United Arab Emirates, and it's a huge list. I'm not taking the names, all of them. So today's payload will be having a diverse payload, you can say that, because the mission includes a variety of satellites serving different purposes such as Earth observation, Internet of Things, which we call it in short IoT, connectivities, and technology demonstration. Notable payload includes Impulse 2, Impulse Space Mira Tug, a space tug designed for in-orbit servicing. SmallSat TAT-O. This is the name of the satellite, okay? So don't get be like what I'm saying. You will be saying I'm doing some jargon. It's not like that. It's FOSSAT TAT-O. FOSSA system from Spain, a satellite aimed at enhancing IoT connectivity. Next major, you can say out of all these 131, each satellite is important, no doubt about it, but out of them, I'm just highlighting the major ones right now. I will be describing all of them in details, as I said, when the second stage will be in the course phase. So the next one, which I was going to say, is the Ray, is from Inversion Space, a re-entry capsule developed to deliver cargo from space back to Earth. Now, before moving on, you guys just give me a second so that I can address you guys who are here with joining us. Would like to welcome Simon, one of our youngest friend over here. Hope you are doing well, Simon. Also would like to welcome Angry Bird for joining us. And I guess Angry Bird was there from long ago. Hope you will be enjoying the stream. Also would like to welcome Adam Starr. It's our pleasure, Adam, that we can host this stream, and hope we will be meeting your expectations, giving all the relevant details. Would like to welcome Matt and to Angry Bird, referring to Angry Bird. Hopefully he is busy or something there, guys. And for Pop Fairmid, it's late at night, so she won't be able to visit us today, only if her sleep doesn't breaks in between. So let's move on, as we'll be running short if we will be so much addressing you guys as of now. Right now we have plenty of time today. It's a huge long stream, so we will be talking that time. So let me first tell you all the details about the launch. Now let's move on to the booster slide. And I hope that you guys enjoyed all these cool images of the satellites. It took me nearly 3 hours to find all of them and to make them in a good way, so in a representable way. So the booster with tail number 1088 will be supporting today's mission, which is quite a young booster with one previous flights in its record, supporting previously the NROL 126 mission from here at Vandenberg on 30th of November last year. Now the booster is awaiting for its second flight, just some minutes away. The booster's turnaround time as of today is 45 days. So for today, I don't have much to say. It's a relief for me because of the days I have to extend telling about 24 missions being supported by a booster. So now let's have a look at the bar graph showing the number of Falcon 9 launches each year. Before today's launch, SpaceX completed its 6th launch for this year with the Starlink Group 12-4 mission launch from Cape Canaveral on 13th of January. As we all know, previously completed 132 launches of Falcon 9 last year. And if we will be adding the 2 more Falcon Heavy launches, then the numbers gets 134 which marks a record with the highest annual launches to date for SpaceX. Now, with today's launch of Transporter 12 mission, the bar graph depicts 7 Falcon 9 launches of 2025, and at the beginning of another year full of exciting missions upcoming and record breakers. According to Elon's tweet previously, possibly we could see around 180 Falcon 9 launches this year. So this year will be a more surprise. We like a lot of surprises are waiting for us. So again, no more I'm discussing the pre-launch timeline, as we will be getting short of time as the webcast will be starting. Now we are like 20 minutes away from the webcast to begin, because 10 minutes earlier from the liftoff, SpaceX will be starting to broadcast from their side. So let's just quickly talk about the different stats, and would like to say one thing in the pre-launch timeline that mostly all of you guys know about that, but just for a quick knowledge, that the strong back here positioned alongside the vehicle, the reclining process for that here at Vandenberg differs from that of Cape Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center. Here at Vandenberg, we recline the strong back 13 degrees away from the Falcon 9, whereas at Cape Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center, we recline it about a degree and a half. So just that is the difference in the pre-launch timeline, else it's just a typical Falcon 9 pre-launch timeline. So I'm just skipping that. Once again, just a reminder, currently SpaceX is targeting a liftoff time of Falcon 9 from Vandenberg at 2:09 p.m. Eastern Time, 11:09 a.m. Pacific Time on Tuesday, January 14, that is today. But still, let me just check it whether they are sticking with their adjusted liftoff time. Yes, they are. So no issues. Now let's move on and briefly step down through the trajectory for today's mission. With the Transporter 12's 131 payloads on board, Falcon 9 will lift off from Space Launch Complex 4 East from Vandenberg Space Force Base for a somewhat southwesterly trajectory to low Earth orbit, indicated by that green line on your screen. The red line you see indicates where the Falcon 9 first stage will land after stage separation just a little later. And today, this is going to be a land landing, and the booster is expected to perform a return to launch site, that is also known as RTLS, return to launch site, landing at landing zone 4 at Vandenberg here at the west coast, which means that the first stage booster with tail number 1088 flying for the second time will be returning, heading out to the landing zone for its landing. This will be the 23rd landing on the landing zone 4 to date. I was just going to say drone ship, it's getting habituated with the drone ships more. And today's estimated fairing recovery is approximately 581 kilometers downrange, and the stage 2 debris re-entry will be in the Pacific Ocean after its first orbit. As we all know, currently there are 3 in SpaceX drone ship fleet, although today we are not having any involvement of drone ship for the booster recovery. Today we will be having a return to launch site operation, and the booster will be landing on the landing zone 4 here at the Vandenberg. But still, just for a quick knowledge for you guys, or a reference to have some insights about the drone ship, have a look to this side. Now, those of you who have joined us, would like to welcome you all. We are like so much grateful for your visit, and would like to request you guys. I know it's bothering, no one wants to hear this line, but nothing I'm asking from you so much, just a like to this video so that YouTube can push this video to other space fans and rocket lovers like you, and so that they can discover this stream out. Just a small request to you guys. Now let's move on to and talk about a little about the fairing recovery. SpaceX will utilize a recovery vessel Go Beyond as it's a West Coast launch to retrieve them from the Pacific waters. The two halves of the payload fairing will be recovered slightly farther, approximately 581 kilometers downrange from the launch site, after they will smoothly splash down with the guidance of parachutes. We all know SpaceX has dedicated years of effort to the recovery and reuse of payload fairings. Now on your screen you can see how a fairing recovery operation looks like. Just excuse me for a second, let me have a sip of water. So you can see on your screen how a fairing operation looks like. Although the recovery vessel shown on your screen is dark in the Atlantic, but here at the West Coast today, recovery support vessel is Go Beyond in the Pacific waters. Meanwhile, other recovery vessels Bob, Doug, and Go Cosmos on the East Coast are awaiting for its next assignment. On your screen, some images for to give you some insights that how a fairing recovery looks like up close. We are really happy that so many people have joined us today. Now, if you feel like we are adding value to your viewing experience, please consider giving this video a like. It really helps YouTube's algorithm to bring in more space lover and rocket fans just like you, and also to discover this stream out, which will help us to build a community with amazing space enthusiasts. Also consider smashing the subscribe button and turning on the bell notification as you work hard to bring you detailed streams with stats and insights. We would be super grateful for your support. Now let's move on to the stats section. We are, I guess, 26. Okay. Oh, like 14 to 13 minutes away from the webcast to begin. So let's just quickly wrap up our stats section. Today's launch marks the 435th SpaceX overall launch and the just a second. 435th SpaceX overall launch and the third dedicated non-Starlink launch of this year. This is going to be the 422nd Falcon 9 launch to date. The second flight for this particular Falcon 9 booster supporting today's mission, with tail number 1088 being in action after 45 days. Today's mission marks the 7th Falcon 9 launch and the SpaceX overall launch of 2025. What is happening? I'm not understanding with this internet. I guess I have to switch to Starlink as well. It's working. Sorry guys for the interruption. Now, what I was saying that I said about up to the Falcon 9 launches and SpaceX overall launch. So this will be the 367th Falcon booster reflight to date, which means that the launch of a booster that has flown at least once before. 108th orbital launch for SpaceX, launching from Space Launch Complex 4 East, and the 175th overall orbital launch from this pad. Now the next one, the Blue Ghost Mission 1 and the Resilience Lunar Lander launch. With that, SpaceX will be having the 100th launch from Launch Complex 39A, that is from the Kennedy Space Center. That's a good, again, a record. Already SpaceX made a record with their highest number of launch of a specific booster. Now that will be another record. They already start breaking the records. It's just 2 weeks of a year of this month. Now, coming to some reusability statistics, this launch marks the 351st Falcon 9 booster reflight to date. This will be the first landing on landing zone 4 and ground landing for this year. 23rd overall landing on landing zone 4. Second overall landing of the first stage booster with tail number 1088 supporting today's mission. And with this mission's first stage landing, SpaceX will be having 81st overall ground landing, marking 378th Falcon 9 landing to date, and 397th SpaceX's overall landing to date. Now here is some, just for a reference, some stats prior to today's launch for the landing sites for SpaceX, so that you can know how many successful and unsuccessful landings have been made on different landing zones of SpaceX. Meanwhile, let me address you guys once again. Would like to welcome Vlad. Thanks for joining us. I'm fine, Vlad, and I did saw you that you were liking our post on the X handle, but I said you before also that a little busy I will be during these days. Look, already like yesterday night you might have noticed that all of a sudden Blue Origin said they will be launching. I was just sleeping that time, and in between I just saw they said that they will be targeting. I just jumped out of the bed, scheduled a live, started to work again. Again they said no, they won't be launching just after 2 hours from initial declaration. Then again I started to work for this one and the Blue Ghost upcoming one. So sorry that I'm not able to reply you back right now, but I'm good. Hope you are doing good and everything is going well with your upcoming exam. As our moderators here, everybody is insisting, guys, really we want you guys to be vocal and to be a little expressive with us. We won't bite you or something that you guys are not talking with us. We should be conversant with each other so that we can know each other's perspective and viewpoint. So would like to really encourage you guys to indulge in the chat so that I can address you guys, I can know you guys. Anyways, it's on your wish. I won't be forcing. Now let's have a look at the stats prior to today's launch for the drone ship of the 3 drone ships of the SpaceX. And there is there was a commitment from SpaceX and that maybe this year we will be having a fourth drone ship. But let's see what happens to that. Now let's have a look at some key stats for SpaceX launches in this year, including today's mission launch. Both the previous two slides were for prior to today's launch, and this one again back to today's launch, including today's one. So SpaceX will be having the 7th launch of this year, and out of those, 4 were Starlink missions as of now, and 3 are non-Starlink missions for commercial and government organizations, including today's launch. 7 reuse booster with this mission. The geographical distribution of the launches gives us that they have 5 launches from East Coast, with 1 from Launch Complex 39A, that is from Kennedy Space Center, and 4 from Space Launch Complex 40, that is from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. On the West Coast, they will be having the 2nd launch of this year, that is from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base. As of now, no launches from Gulf Coast at Starbase in Texas. Now we are awaiting for the 7th integrated flight test. That is also an much anticipated launch, although we are suffering with the another anticipated launch, the New Glenn one. But hopefully they will be able to fix the issue and we will be getting to have the launch sooner. Currently they are targeting 16th. I'm talking about the Blue Glenn. SpaceX is targeting for 15th. Now expecting as we are expecting the next 7th one on the 15th of January, we hope that you guys will be joining us here because we have the stream there on our channel. We would like to have all of you with us so that we can celebrate that launch together. So moving on, as of for now, for the landings, SpaceX will be nailing it for the 7th time this year today, with previous 6 drone ship landings, one on Of Course I Still Love You here at the West Coast, and another on 2 on Just Read the Drone Ships, and 3 on A Shortfall of Gravitas on the East Coast. Now for the ground landing is the first one on landing zone 4 for this year. Now prior to today's launch, success rate for ground landings is 98.77%. For drone ship landing, it is 96.64%, and the overall landing success rate is 97.06%. The landing success rate for 2024, we all know it got reduced from 100% to 99.24% for just one single landing failure that happened during the Starlink 8-6 mission, and that failure also marked the first unsuccessful landing on the drone ship A Shortfall of Gravitas. Now, today's mission is the 71st launch since Starlink mission failure of Starlink. No, excuse me, I was saying that last mission failure, I should be saying last mission failure, that is the Starlink 9-3 mission. Most launches in a calendar quarter to date is 42 launches, including the 2 Starship launches, which is the 4th quarter of last year. And the most launches in a calendar month is 17 launches. That is also last year in November, which includes 1 Starship launch. Please note that these stats on your screen right now are prior to today's launch. It's written on the corner down there. So don't get confused with these numbers. Now again, this page of stat are prior to today's launch. Now here we are having the most launches in a calendar year, which is 134 launches, which also marks the highest annual launches to date for SpaceX. But if we count in Starship launches, then the number rises to 138 launches. But generally, we are not counting the Starship launches because they are still in a testing phase and they are orbital launches as well. So SpaceX is not counting them. But I made a breakup there for your understanding. Now 70 successful launches since last mission failure with Starlink 9-3. 55 successful landings have been made since last landing failure with Starlink 8-6. 288 missions with at least one fairing, reused fairing, and approximately 544 number of fairing halves have been reused. Now moving on to this year's orbital launches. This one is the 9th orbital launch, including today's one, and today SpaceX will be having the 7th orbital launch of this year. So United States as of now is leading with 7 launches, followed by China with 2 launches, excuse me. So now we have this pie chart showing 2025 orbital launches by rocket variations, including today's launch, and this one is the last stat. So I know these things are boring for many people joining us, but for many others it intrigues. So that's why I'm just saying, and I'm just quickly wrapping them up. This one is the last slide and we will be done. Now Falcon 9, well, I didn't made it look good, just a second. It's looking ugly. Why it's not copying the transform? Well. This OBS is tricky a little. So many things you have to look around. Well done. I guess now it looks good. So on this pie chart, as you can see, Falcon 9 will be having the 7th launch with today's mission launch, and China as of now had 2 launches, one for the Long March 3BE variant and recently a Long 3 rocket. So China is having 2 launches as of now. Now let's just quickly check in that whether the webcast has begun or not. Yes, it did. So let's quickly jump in there. Right now you can see a clear view of the payload there. Not the payload, that the second stage with the fairing half containing the payload.
Between our transporter and bandwagon missions. To date, SpaceX has launched more than 1,100 payloads to orbit for more than 130 customers across our entire rideshare program. If you're interested, a full list of payloads are on spacex.com/launches.
That's a huge list. I highly encourage you to go and to have a look there, because so that you can know how many satellites and which satellites are being getting launched.
January 15th at the same time. But right now, the weather is currently green on the Central Coast, and the range is ready to support. With that, let's take a look at one of the payloads launching on today's mission, MBZ-SAT. Developed entirely by UAE engineers at the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center, or MBRSC, the MBZ-SAT Earth Observation Satellite will become the most advanced satellite in the region, offering unprecedented image accuracy and offer improved data transfer and download speeds. Here's more from our customer, MBRSC.
I can play this audio, guys, because it gives us some copyright issues. Meanwhile, you can enjoy the views there. But as of now, whatever we talked about the launch and everything, we have only one motive, that to add value to your viewing experience, and which is our top priority. So if you felt somehow we achieved that, please consider liking this video, which really helps YouTube's algorithm bring in more space fans and helps others to find out the stream. Also consider subscribing to our channel, as we work hard to bring you streams packed with stats, details and insights. We'll be incredibly grateful for your support, and we will be happy to see you with us in the upcoming launches. Now let them just get done with these videos so that I can turn on the audio.
The Falcon 9 rocket supporting today's mission is a two-stage rocket designed for reliable and safe transport of satellites, cargo, and people. At the very top of the rocket is the payload fairing. The fairing is a protective shell that houses all the payloads, shielding them from the aerodynamic heating until the vehicle is outside of the Earth's atmosphere. The aerodynamic shape of the fairing also contributes to Falcon 9's overall efficiency, helping to reduce drag while the vehicle accelerates through the atmosphere. Once in space, the two fairing halves separate and fall back to Earth, where they will be recovered by one of our recovery vessels to be refurbished and reused on future flights. Both halves of this fairing are flight-proven, with one side flying for its 19th time today and the other for its 18th time. And inside those fairings is today's payload stack, which was encapsulated just a few days ago, and this is actually our tallest stack to date.
Engine chill has started.
As of now, as you heard the call out, the engine chill has started. That is for the first stage. Engine chill is being happening before they will lift off.
The black carbon fiber inner stage, where the MVAC engine is located. The inner stage connects the two stages and houses a center pusher that allows the first and second stage to separate during flight. Below that, we have the first stage, which we usually refer to as the booster. The first stage makes up the bottom 2/3 of the vehicle and has 9 Merlin M1D engines at the bottom. Those 9 Merlin engines generate more than 1.7 million pounds of thrust.
Stage 1, RP1 load is complete.
The first stage supporting today's mission will be marking its second flight today.
As you heard, we are right now T-6 minutes, 11 seconds and counting. We got the call out for the RP1 stage, for the stage 1 is being completed.
Which you see right there on your screen, which isn't too far from the launch pad. If successful, this will be the 397th landing of an orbital class rocket. Because this is a return to launch site landing, during re-entry, when the booster slows down from supersonic speeds, people in the immediate area may hear a brief double clap of a thunder-like sound referred to as a sonic boom. Reusability is the key to our future.
SpaceX did mention about the sonic booms on their website, and they are mentioning this after that issue with the Starship. It happened with them.
NASA's space shuttle and famously occur following a
And right now, for the Falcon 9 prop load, we are still loading the liquid oxygen on the both first and second stages. Sooner we will be getting the call out for the wrapping up of the LOX load on both the stages.
An idea of how this looks and sounds? Here's a look at what some of these booster returns have looked and sounded like on a few previous missions.
I know a lot of people will be excited when they hear the sonic boom.
And these are going to provide quite a show because you're going to hear those sonic booms.
Booster landing leg deployed.
That sonic boom is great for us.
That thunderclap broke the sound barrier.
Side booster separation confirmed.
It's crazy.
Two sonic booms here in the room.
Booster landing confirmed.
And with that, I would like to ask all of you that who are joining us, how many of you did experience this sonic boom and saw a Falcon 9 liftoff, at least any launches? Would like to know from you. If you guys can tell with us, share with us, we will be happy about that.
Recline away from the vehicle, which you can see it is slowly moving away. In addition to helping drive down the cost of access to space,
Well, as of now, the strong back retraction has been started. It's a slow process. We have hydraulic actuators at the base of the strong back that will pull it away. We do it slowly because you can see that we still have some lines that are connected with the payload fairing, which are carrying liquid oxygen to the second stage, as well as electrical signals and air conditioning up there in the payload fairing. Now we got the call out that stage 1 LOX load is complete. We are right now T minus 2 minutes 50 seconds and counting. We got the call out right on time. LOX load of the first stage is complete. We are now waiting for the second stage that will finish up at just inside T minus 2 minutes mark. Now currently we are inside, getting inside 2.5 minutes, and the range is ready to support. They are green, so that's a good sign. Both the vehicle and payload are in good health.
we had LOX load completion on the first stage, and we're coming up on LOX load completion on the second stage in just under 15 seconds from now.
Yes, Angry Bird. I also wish that we could have been seeing it together. Thanks a lot, Vlad, for waiting to see the launch at least. I know you are busy.
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
There we go. We got the call out for stage 2 LOX load is complete. So it's on time. All propellants now are right now on board the Falcon 9 with 1 million pounds of propellant. And there we go. We got the call out for ground gas goes out. This is where we are bleeding the pressure off, and the cold gas, when it reacts with the moist humid air here at the Pacific, gives us this white nice cloud, which is absolutely normal and is it's a good indicator of upcoming launch. Now we are getting close to T minus 1 minute.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Here we go, right on time. Falcon 9 flight computers on both the stages are running on the rocket through the last minute of count. Now let's listen to the go call out from the launch director.
Launch director, go for launch.
There we go. SpaceX launch director giving go for the launch. We are coming up on T-minus 30 seconds. All systems continues to remain go for launch of Falcon 9 and the Transporter 2 mission, launching 131 payloads. Now let's listen to the call out for the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9. Go SpaceX. Go Transporter 12.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Awesome views right now we are getting.
We are now 32 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower at
We are at T plus 36 seconds into the flight. We are currently throttling down the 9 Merlin engines, preparing for the period of maximum dynamic stress coming up. Sooner we will be getting a call out for the vehicle being supersonic. Right now we did got a call out for
Supersonic.
and there we have it, Mark 1 on Falcon 9 right now. Falcon 9 is currently faster than the speed of sound as we have gone supersonic.
Max Q.
There we go, Max Q call out. We are through the period of maximum stress on the vehicle. We have throttled the Merlin engines back up to full power.
and the start of boost.
Now we will be getting a call out for MVAC chill. We did got it. As we heard the call out, we have started the process of chill down of the MVAC engine on the second stage prior to its ignition just after stage separation.
One flip is when the booster flips 180 degrees. Second engine start is when the MVAC engine on the second stage will light for its first time, and boost back burn is used to arrest the forward velocity and return the first stage back towards the landing site. So all of those coming up in a few seconds. Watch out for them.
Now we're having some events in rapid succession as you guys heard it. So let's just wait for those call outs.
Main engine cutoff.
There we go.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
Stage 1 boost back startup.
We just got the call outs for all back-to-back events. Main engine cutoff known as MECO, stage separation, followed by MVAC ignition, and then we heard the first stage boost back burn. Crazy, stunning views from the second stage. First stage is also giving us good, nice views. Now next we will be waiting for the call out for the fairing separation, and already we can see the views of the payload there. There we have it, fairing separation as successful. We did got a good nice view of the payloads there. Right now they are exposed to vacuum of space, now making its way to the target orbit.
And
now we just got the call out for the stage 1 boost back
on our first stage
to wrap up.
to occur around the T+6 minute mark.
Now what I was going to say, now the main thing comes that we have to wait for the payloads to get separated to be deployed. That will be the coolest part, because we will be getting so many payload separation to deployment to see.
Are on a nominal trajectory.
Good call out there. Both the vehicles are in nominal trajectory.
We just saw
performing in a good way.
Falcon 9 is equipped with 4 hypersonic grid fins positioned near the top of the first stage that help steer the first stage as it returns to Earth. And we're currently in our first MVAC burn, and this burn should last for another few minutes. And as I mentioned, the next milestone will be the first stage entry burn, which is coming up in about a minute and a half. Today, Falcon 9 is performing 2 burns in order to land. That first burn, known as the entry burn, slows the vehicle down before hitting the denser parts of the Earth's atmosphere. Today's entry burn will be a single-engine entry burn where only E9 will relight. Without this burn, we'd only be using the atmospheric drag to slow down Falcon 9, which would add extra stress to the vehicle. Following entry burn, the booster will initiate the landing burn, which should slow down the vehicle even more for a successful landing.
So as you just heard that right now we will be waiting for the first stage entry burn to begin.
White puffs coming off of Falcon 9 that you see on your screen are cold nitrogen gas, which help with attitude control.
And you guys might have heard that attitude control means the orientation actually. Generally, we just get confused with that word, that altitude, but it is actually attitude for the orientation of the vehicle. Now those nitrogen gas thrusters are bursting out to orient itself as it makes its way back to the landing zone 4 for its landing, marking the first landing of this year for SpaceX.
Awesome view of the Channel Islands on the right-hand side of your screen. Coming up on...
Really, we are getting some good, nice views from the second stage as it's a daytime launch. And I guess it's time for the entry burn to begin. There we go. There's a confirmation. We have just lit 3 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stages. Right now, we are rapidly slowing down the vehicle as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. And you can see that the speed of the first stage
at Vandenberg's LZ4
on the left side corner, bottom corner of your screen.
Today's landing burn attempt will be a 3-engine landing burn where engine
Stage 1 FTS has been saved. We did got the call out. It means re-entry burn for the stage 1 has been accomplished. Also, we did got previously the stage 1 entry burn to get completed. Right now we got the call out for the stage 1 being transonic, which means that the stage 1 is now traveling slower than the speed of sound as it heads back towards the landing. Great tracking views.
Stage 1 landing leg deployed.
And there we go. Stage 1 landing burn completion followed by stage 1 landing.
which marks the second landing for this specific.
Although I didn't got to hear any sonic boom, that's why I stayed quiet so that you guys can hear the any sonic boom.
Next up, we're expecting the shutdown of the second stage MVAC in about 10 seconds from now.
Stage 2 FTS has saved.
Stage 2 FTS has been saved, means the orbital insertion burn is complete. We will be hearing the call out for MVAC shutdown, that is SECO 1. For the first time, the MVAC engines will be shutting down into today's flight. Then upon that, the second stage with the payload on board will be in a coast phase. Good call out, nominal orbit insertion.
And we heard the call out for good orbit. Coming up next, we have the second burn of our MVAC engine on board the second stage, or SES2, around the T+50 minute mark. After that, the first batch of deployments will begin at about T+54 minutes. We'll be back in about 40 minutes to bring you live coverage of SES2. Until then, enjoy the space views, and we'll see you back here soon.
So right now the vehicle is in its target orbit, that is the second stage with the payload on board. And as I'm seeing the timeline, it's 9 t plus 9 minutes and 15 seconds. So the second stage engine start will be happening at t plus 50 minutes and 52 seconds. So there's a lot of time in between, and that second engine's start for the MVAC engine will be lasting for 4 seconds. At t plus 50 minutes and 56 seconds, the SECO2 event will be happening. That is, the second stage engine will be turning it off for the second time into today's flight. And just following 4 minutes after that, following this event, the payload deployment will be beginning, with the first payload to be dispensed is the GSAT Gen 1. So now, as we are having some time, let's talk about those satellites. As much as I could gather some information about them, I will be talking with you guys with that. So 37 of the payload, of the 131 payload, just a second, let me have this on a split screen so that I can have a look at the timing. Also, I have to look about you guys what you will be saying. So I'm just setting up the I hope Angry Bird you did saw the liftoff, and I couldn't get the opportunity to address you in a while. Romanticism on a chat, not a bad, good thing. What about this easy? I'm not understanding. You are saying me to go easy. I'm a little anxious about today's launch because so many satellites are to be deployed. Moreover, I worked so much, and again tomorrow the Blue Ghost one. Hopefully, I can cover that. Day after that, we will be having the Starship. So let me just talk about the payload, which I was saying that I will be talking during this phase of the flight. So 37 of the 131 payloads going up today belong to San Francisco company Planet, which operates 3 constellations of Earth observation satellites. 36 of the 37 Planet craft are Super Dove CubeSats, which are shoeboxed, small-sized satellites that can collect images with a resolution of about 10 feet, that is 3 meters per pixel. And the other one is Pelican 2, whose resolution is about 7.5 times sharper than that. Additionally, Planet has collaborated with NVIDIA, as I mentioned before, to equip the Pelican 2 with the NVIDIA Jetson platform for cutting-edge AI and robotics to power on in-orbit computing. So moving on, let's talk about another SmallSat that is on board today. That is, maybe I won't be able to pronounce all these satellite names in a right way, but maybe by my pronunciation you can get a hint that about which I'm talking. So this is, I guess, spelled as Sat 1, which is a project led by NSSTC in partnership with IEEE, Geoscience and Remote Sensing Society, that is GRSS, which brings students closer to orbit with hands-on experience developing Earth observation payloads. I hope I could have got these chances when I was in my student life. Now, the technical educational satellite is there also, which is termed here as Tech Ed Sat. Tech Ed Sat 22, that will transmit to space station in Iridium's big low Earth orbit constellation. It is a prototype for a small constellation of CubeSats to be released from the International Space Station that would permit spatial measurement of the thermosphere during a solar coronal event. Next, small sat that is going up there right now in a coast phase is lime. It's lime, lemony lime. So that lime stands for, that is not a name, lemony lime. I just made maybe a bad joke, but still, it's just lime. That stands for Low Latency Intelligence and Monitoring Experiment, which is a 3U small satellite mission primarily dedicated to characterizing the availability of Iridium short burst data links in orbit. The satellite was designed by NOVI under a Small Business Innovation Research, that stands for SBIR contract. The launch and in-space operations are covered by a follow-on subcontract with the Space Dynamic Laboratory. Just let me have a look into the chat. Yes, it did went smooth. I thought Vlad, you are saying me to go easy. Well, good night. I think it's late at night at your place. So good night. Thanks for visiting. At least you did watch the liftoff. That only mostly are doing. No one waits for the payload deployment. That's an interesting part. I know it is boring, but I am trying to make it a little informative so you guys can hang on. Unless and until you don't have anything important to do. See you again, Vlad. And hopefully I can talk to you sooner. Let this starship to get done. Then New Glenn is back to back, so that day only it will be done. So then upon that I'll be free and I'll be having some time to talk with you all. I am currently not able to reply any of your texts. So now let's talk about Varda. This flight will advance pharmaceutical research as well as fly several payloads in support of NASA and other government partners. And Varda Space will be doing a key role there. Now, this interesting satellite, I think I'm saying you why it is interesting. I'm a little getting crazy about that this next satellite named SATGUS. Okay, SATGUS, SATGUS. This payload is designed and built by Tavyak Intel. Okay, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Tavyak Intel for Crunch Labs. Okay, and for which project? Just guess it. It's known as Selfies in Space. So now you guys can relate something with this. Maybe somehow you got to see a video that I made a satellite that can take pictures from space. There is a video trending few days before. So this is for that satellite only. Actually, when I was working for this right now, going through all these satellite details, that time only I got to know that this is related, because I didn't got to see that video. I didn't click it. So I got to know right now working on this, that oh well, this SatGus will be the satellite for having this, and I got to know what it is. It's like you will be taking your selfies, sending it to their servers. Those servers will be emitting that to SatGus satellite on orbit, and that SatGus will be doing, like, it will be superimposing it, making the real-time Earth footage on the back of your like on the back of your image, and will be again transmitting back to the server, and from there you can download it. So it's a good, I can say, like, nice idea, but we can do so by doing overlay. Video editors are good in this. But yes, of course, it won't be like the feeling you will be getting to know it anyhow. If you'll be editing a picture or doing a video editing, we know that is an artificial, but in this case, we will be thrilled to know that the earth behind that image is in real taken picture. So that's interesting. So this is for the Crunch Labs and the SatGus selfie CubeSat that will be getting deployed in some minutes. Now, next satellite is for known as Barb. Okay, and it is the fourth iteration in their series of technology demonstration satellites that will prove out the maturity of Weather's in-house satellite radar technology on orbit from an incredibly low-cost platform. Fledgling aims, also this is known as, actually let me see the website to tell you the real name. Actually some names are being like, they are having their own name, and here on SpaceX website they are having another name. So it was a little tricky for me, and for that only I got late to start the stream. Yes, so it is the fledgling very Barb. Okay, I was saying Barb, so in their website it was written Barb, so it is known as fledgling very Barb. So this satellite I was talking about, and it aims to demonstrate measurement of ocean surface wind speed, which is having a Linux central processor. I'm talking about the satellite, okay, that will be having a Linux central processor working on a Linux platform. It will also help us to evaluate the attitude determination and control software for nadir pointing and over-the-air updates and higher speed communications data we can get from this fledgling, let me see it again, fledgling very Barb satellite, and it's being developed by Weather. Now let's move on to a major, as we heard it before, major one, the Planet Labs Pelican 2, which will be joining the Pelican 1, which got to be launched last year as a part of Planet's next generation high resolution fleet to support and expand its existing SkySat satellites. Now those 36 Super Doves by Planet Labs, which I was mentioning at the very beginning, they are Flock 4G. So any of you guys who have went to the SpaceX website, you can see there is a number of Flock 4G satellites to be deployed, and that is the 36, to be precise. 36 of the Flock 4G satellites will be deployed. So you can see on the timeline that there are so many repetition with the numbers getting changed, but so many Flocks 4G satellites getting deployed. Now the German company, I like this company and how they work. Actually, they do give good pictures also as well for those satellites. It intrigues me. So that's the EXO launch, the largest and the 30th on their largest and their 30th mission to date. And the company is building on this achievement as it puts forward its next significant launch, that is of today, Transporter 12. Now here, ExoLaunch will oversee the integration, launch and deployment of 27 to 28. About this, I'm a little confused. Some websites were saying me that it is 27, some were saying 28. So that's why I just said you guys that 27 to 28. I'm not pretty sure about that. But anyways, they will be deploying, as I said, 27 to 28 satellites. And on this mission, ExoLaunch customer range is spanning multiple industries and nations. Now let me say you all the names of the countries. That is Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, even India, Italy, Lithuania, South Korea, Spain, Taiwan, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, as we already heard about them, and we did saw a video about those satellite. Next, the United Kingdom, United States is like pretty sure is there, and Uruguay is there. So all these countries are like opting for ExoLaunch help of their experience to deploy their satellites on orbit. Now next, move on to next satellite named Troll. Okay, so that is named as Troll. So don't troll me, although the name is only Troll. I'm not saying you guys to troll me around. Again, a bad joke, I know, but I'm a kind of a serious person, although still I'm making joke. It's hard for me. So anyway, so Troll will be making history as it's the largest commercial satellite launched by the Czech Republic since its founding. So this one is really important for Czech Republic. Some exciting facts about Troll and the mission which I could gather from my research, that it was in 2 years of development journey from an idea to launch. 5 mission critical subsystems being provided by ISIS Space Group. Maybe people are calling it ISIS Space Group. So they are providing 5 mission critical subsystems to this Troll satellite. 1037 commands and telemetry parameters will be accessible, and thanks to Bright Ascension limited flight software which they are having on board. Now this will be providing a sub 5 meter hyperspectral imager. Well, I'm saying it wrong. The satellite is having a sub 5 meter hyperspectral imager developed by Chimera Sense. The organization name is Chimera Sense, okay? And it is having 2 AI models for onboard image processing developed by Zytra. These names are really complicated to pronounce because I never heard them. So maybe I'm pronouncing them wrong and I'm sorry for that. And up to 60 minutes of ground station contact time, it can be ensured by the Leaf Space. That is also a technology which they are having on board. Now up to L2 image processing on ground can be performed by World from Space. 7 vibration test runs has been executed on this satellite before making it sure to launch, and it is having 6 precision machined parts for optical alignment and thermal control developed by Frentech Aerospace and TechPa. And the 3D printed metallic payload structure on board the satellite of Troll is by 3D to space. Now with what I was going to say, with the industry leading Expo Pod Nova enabling the development of their satellite, TRL Space and Troll will be now ready to demonstrate innovative technologies developed by the Czech Republic in partnership with the leading innovators across Europe and Africa. And at the heart of the mission is the Hyperscape 100, a state-of-the-art hyperspectral camera from Simera Sense, paired with a high-performance data processing unit developed by, as I was saying, Zatra, a sister company of TRL Space. Okay, and their advanced AI algorithms on board will handle the complex tasks like cloud filtering and object detections, enabling real-time data analysis, which is a good thing to have on board, on a satellite. And this innovation is key to achieving one of the mission's first objective, that is monitoring and analyzing environmental pollution of specific areas of interest in Czech Republic at the request of the Czech government. So as I was saying, that this SmallSat Rideshare program is not for only commercial organizations, even government organizations can also opt for it. Now, next, move on. No, but still, let me share you something which I was left by. I was remembering, like it came to my mind just now, crossed my mind just now, that the Czech Republic is doing this thing with the Troll, and this is a major milestone in building local space industry, okay, for them and their experience with the heritage of the Czech Republic, while showcasing the pivotal role plays in advancing global space exploration. So now let's move on to the next one, the Edison spacecraft. This name is nice one, Edison. Well, let me just say you something. You might be hearing me many a times. Will be right now as I'm talking about the payload. So I will be saying many a times a thing. Let me just find it. Yes. So I will be referring many a times a postfix after saying the name of the satellites like 16U, 3U, 8U, 9U. So what these things are, those who are unaware of this, let me just give you a definition, is that this is a designation refers to the number of units. Okay, so that's why it's U. 16U means 16 units the satellites takes up, where each unit is equal to 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters in size. Although the size can vary, there is no compulsion, but just to make sure that you won't be like not understanding that what I'm saying with these names you every time. So I just wanted to make you clear. So like this one, we are having the 8U Edison spacecraft. It means 8 units, which is now on its way for getting deployed, and which will be showcasing the cutting edge space technologies from Newman Space, Ion X, and Infinite Orbits, funded by European Space Agency as well under the Pioneer program which they are having. This mission will validate the key payloads through several months of orbital maneuvers. Now, Edison will deploy using the ExoPod Nova system again, and with the team ensuring seamless integration to set the stage for a successful mission. So now let's move on to the next one. But I'm sorry guys, like I feel bad to say you that I did my research as I said, but still it's not fully extensive because list of the satellites is so much and I couldn't get all the details like in a right way, and I don't want to give you any wrong details and to mislead you, so I just skipped some of the satellites, but mostly I try to cover a major part of it, of the 131 satellites getting launched today. So now the next one is the Connecta IoT batch, which is from the Plan S, who is addressing the challenging of connecting 85% of the Earth's surface without terrestrial networks through its groundbreaking Connecta IoT system. This series of satellites enables seamless communication for industrial sites, ships, farms, and other facilities in remote areas, supporting critical IoT applications like asset tracking and precision agriculture. I hope you guys will be remembering that launch from Kineas, who were launching satellites with the help of Rocket Labs. They are doing the same thing, okay? With them, you can to track the, like anything, like they will be having, I described that during its first launch and as I was streaming, it's like a device which you will be putting it on a thing which you want to track, and you can track it without the terrestrial network. You can get the details anywhere, anytime, wherever you will be there. So that's a nice thing, and it's like a same thing what this Connect IoT batch will be doing. Like as I said, you can even track your assets. Now it will be launched. It got launched today. Now it's just some minutes away to be getting deployed. So kudos to them. Now the next satellite is the GE-SAT. I think this one, let me check. I think this one is the first one they will be deploying. As I said before, let me see. Yes, GE-SAT Gen 1 will be first deployed, and it is like it is by absolute sensing. Okay, and what it is actually, GE-SAT CH4 monitoring demonstrator. CH4 is, you all know, methane. Okay, so which will be measuring the methane emission from orbit and validate its data use case and ground processing chain with absolute sensing. Will scale up for the GE-SAT constellation aimed at monitoring all the unseen in Earth's atmosphere. Now the next one is the batch of 6 Lemur, 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 I think it has to be said in this way, Lemur satellites, which is from Spire Globe. Now it's on its way to its target orbit, which will be advancing the IoT connectivity once again, the weather forecasting, and maritime monitoring. 2 Lemur 3 satellites, 2 of them out of 6 is developed in collaboration with Myriota, which will expand the global IoT coverage with cutting-edge direct-to-orbit communications, enabling Myriota's IoT solutions to operate seamlessly and more effectively. Additionally, 3 satellites equipped with advanced atmospheric sensors and AIS system will evaluate, excuse me, I'm a little stammering, elevate Spire's weather forecasting and maritime traffic monitoring, which will be helpful to provide essential data for aviation and reconnaissance as well. So it is somewhat a little related with the security section also. Now these innovations underscores always like, what can I say, the transformative role of space technology in addressing global challenges as we are facing nowadays, from resource management to environmental conservation. Now the next satellite on board is right now is Balkan 1, which is owned by Enrosat. Balkan 1 is a part of Balkan Sentinel program, an EU European Union Copernicus contributing mission. The program goal is to deliver unprecedented revisit times, real-time cloud-based monitoring, and AI-powered detection capabilities. Equipped with a state-of-art multispectral camera and onboard deep neural network processing, this satellite is designed to push further imagery analytics. Its data will support critical applications, maritime surveillance, humanitarian aid, ecological protection, and environmental monitoring, accelerating decisions that can make a difference. Well, I think I should be making that slide over here so that you can guys, although I'm getting done talking about this, still, wait, let me see first. 40 minutes, okay, so we are like 41. So we are like 13 minutes away from the first payload deployment. Currently like 9 minutes away from the, not my 9 minutes, yes, nearly 9 minutes for the stage 2 startup, that is for the second time, also known as SES2, and it will be having a quick 4-second upburn, then again it will be turning it off, like turning back off. That event is known as SECO2. As we know, it is commonly seen in typical every Falcon 9 launches. But as I said, today we will be having up to SECO4. So today the MBAC engines will be restarting 4 times and shutting down 4 times. But yes, let me, when we are having some time, let me just make that slide. For that only I was seeing this timeline. I think I'm just making the, what can I say? Right now I'm just making that payload slide to once again to play on the screen so that you guys can look at those images of the payload slide and my 3 hours of research will be justified. You can see I'm a little showing off with this. It really took me real like pain, like so much. It was painful to find those information and those images. Let me just drag it over here. Let me make it here. It's fine, no more we have any stage 1 telemetry, so let it be here. When we will be getting the views for the payload deployment, I will immediately turn it off so that you can have a nice good view for the payload deployment to experience. And for that only, that time during the sonic boom, which video they was playing, I didn't turn the volume off so that I should not be worrying about the copyright thing so much, so that I will be ruining your viewing experience. And that is a fun part. Of course, no one wants to miss that one, to hear sonic booms of Falcon 9 rocket. Okay, sooner maybe we will be getting to hear the sonic boom from New Glen's first stage also. So maybe no. So I'm telling you, there's a chance. Those who know, they got me. So what next satellite? What I was talking about was going to talk about was NorthSat 4, as its name suggests. Only it's from a Norwegian space center. It's for the Norwegian Space Center. Is being built by Space Flight Laboratory (SFL) in Canada. NorthSat 4 is part of portfolio of national microsatellites for maritime surveillance, and the Norwegian Space Center is responsible for maintaining this capacity. NorthSat 4's AIS receiver is made by Kongsberg Discovery, and I got those images from NorthSat only from them only, else I was not able to find any single image for the NorthSat one. So thanks to Kongsberg, credit goes to them for those images. And I wouldn't, but they just provided for NorthSat only. Okay, other satellite images, respective credit goes to respective owners. Now the main payload on the NorthSat, there is, okay, for primary and secondary in this case, in the NorthSat 4. Now the main primary payload for the NorthSat is a receiver that captures signals from Automatic Identification System, AIS, which stands, you all guys know, a system that all ships over 300 gross tons are required, like it's a mandate for them to have on board. Then only they can work on seas. Well, let me just tell you, Angry Bird, I hope you didn't went to the website of SpaceX. It will take nearly 2 hours and 22 minutes to finish. And the last satellite will be deployed, which will be getting deployed, is a Firefly 2 by Pixel. So with that, the webcast will be getting concluded. And I know people who worked on this, they are like waiting to see their work to get deployed in space. So for that only I'm just streaming, else I would have concluded the stream just after the liftoff, because most of the people faded away seeing the launch and they went away. Okay, the first one will be, and also it's worth mentioning today there are some Indian startup small sats going on reaching the orbit. It's a nice move which India is undertaking, which they should have did long time before, but it's never too late. So what I was saying about the NorthSat primary and secondary like sections. So I said that AIS system which a ship has to have. So there will be a receiver on board the NorthSat 4 for this reason, so that they can have maritime surveillance. Now the NorthSat 4 will primarily, like other national satellites which they had previously, NorthSat 1, 2 and 3, will monitor ship traffic from orbit. In addition, NorthSat 4 has two other payloads on board, a low light camera and an encryption solution. Both of these are new technologies that will be demonstrated in space. NorthSat 4 weighs approximately 35 kilograms. Well, just a second, this slide got stopped. Let me put it on low. I didn't notice. Excuse me for that. So the secondary other two payloads on board, as I said, it will be a low light camera and an encryption solution. Now both of these are new technologies that will be demonstrated in space. NorthSat 4 weighs approximately 35 kilograms and measures 76 by 83 by 43 in dimension, and the unit is in centimeters, where, well, just a second, they will be having 49 minutes. No, so we will be having the second stage engine start just in 42 seconds from now.
40 seconds away from the second ignition of our MVAC engine on the second stage.
And this burn will be lasting for, as I mentioned before, just for a quick 4 seconds, and followed that SECO2, which will be happening, shutdown of the MVAC engine for the second stage for the second time in today's flight, and followed that 4 minutes it will take for to start the first payload deployment with the GE-SAT Gen 1 satellite. So let's hear for the call out. Is getting the time. Already it exceeded the time. Good, nice views. Let me just turn off this one for now. We did actually this I was saying that we are more excited to see this payload deployments. Right now on your screen you can see those EXO launch stack there. Actually, why it's taking such time?
But we are waiting for confirmation of good orbit.
Good orbit is will be happening after the SES. Oh no. Well, yes.
We had confirmation of good orbit insertion, and we had a successful second burn of the MVAC engine on second stage.
Well, that is the thing. No, they didn't made us to see the view for the second stage engine start, that is SES2, and we didn't got to have any view for the SECO2. And as I was saying, that following that those two events, we will be getting a nominal orbit insertion. We just got to hear the in a other way, but fine, we got a nominal orbit insertion. That's not bad. We should not be complaining so much. Now we are right now like less than 2 minutes from the first satellite SmallSat to get deployed, starting with GE-SAT Gen 1 at T plus 54 minutes and 7 seconds. Followed that we will be having the
Gen 1 deploy confirmed. Edison 1 deploy confirmed.
They made it earlier.
16 separation confirmed. C Ops Otter separation confirmed.
Four satellites have been deployed as of now. Otter, Bro 16, Edison 1, GE-SAT Gen 1,
separation confirmed.
Fifth one, Buzzer 1. This is the name of a satellite, okay, Buzzer 1.
HCT Sat 1 separation confirmed.
HTC Sat 1 satellite deployed.
Separation confirmed.
That I was saying about.
Scott separation
Block 4G19 got deployed. Okay, for now. Scott deployed. Lime deployed. Next up is the Balkan 1.
Falcon 1 separation confirmed.
There we go. Next one is the Tech 8 Sat 22.
Sat 22 separation confirmed.
There we go. Hope we are getting some views. We did saw some movement there.
Flock 4G31 separation confirmed.
Flock 4G31 deployed. Flock 4G sets are from Planet Labs. Now
Sat 1 separation confirmed.
POSAT 1 deployed, manifested by D-Orbit.
ISL 46A CS1 separation confirmed.
This one was undisclosed, okay? They didn't mention it on their website.
InnoCube separation confirmed.
InnoCube deployed.
Flock 4G25 separation confirmed.
Flock 4G25 deployed by Planet Labs. Next one,
separation confirmed.
Elevation 1 by D-Orbit, manifested by D-Orbit for India. Congratulations, guys.
Flock 4G9 separation confirmed.
Flock 4G9 deployed. Flock next one is 23.
Separation confirmed.
Next one, Fledging Berry Barb. Actually, I guess
Very Barb separation confirmed.
There we go. Actually, they started deploying the satellites, then the planned timeline.
Separation confirmed.
Roll also got deployed by XL launch, manifested by
G21 separation confirmed.
Next one again, Flock 4G. Next one, Parus T1. Parus, I guess. Let's hear out how they pronounce it. Paris.
Separation confirmed.
Paris T1 deployed. Next one is NCKU Iris F3.
Iris F3 separation confirmed.
Again, next Flock 4G33. We'll be hearing this call out for Flock so many times. I said, yo, it will.
4G33 separation confirmed. AE1C separation confirmed.
AE1C got deployed.
Answer LS separation confirmed.
Answer LS deployed by D-Orbit.
NewSat 45 separation confirmed.
For Statologic, NewSat 45 deployed, followed by Flock 4G15. Now next up is Flock 4G13. We are not getting views from the payload from the second stage. Maybe sooner we will be getting.
Flock 4G13 separation confirmed.
Flock 4G13 deployed. Next one,
F2 separation confirmed.
Iris F2. Next one again, Flock 4G.
Separation confirmed.
Next one, Flock 4G34. We will be hearing this for 36 times. Now next one, Flock 4G34. Upon that, we will be having the FOSAT or FOFQ or O, it is written. Anyways, FOSAT to get deployed. Followed by that, we will be having Aurora Tech Forestry.
FOSAT FO18 separation confirmed.
Now next one will be again the same, but 19. They are having 2 payloads and followed by this SAT.
SmallSat FO 19 separation confirmed.
And as we heard that now it's 26 satellites getting deployed. It got deployed, coming up with 27th one.
Aurora Tech Forest 3 separation confirmed.
Or Tech Forest 3 deployed.
Flock 4G 16 separation confirmed.
Aurora Forest 3 was manifested by EXO launch. Flock 4G
Mira separation confirmed.
by Planet Labs. Mira is Leo Express 2 got deployed by Impulse Space. Garia A got deployed, manifested by EXO launch.
4G 10 separation confirmed. Flock 4G 36 separation confirmed.
$36 or 22nd, they said.
Flock 4G 22 separation confirmed.
Now, upon this, AlienSat 1. AlienSat deployed. Flock 4G 24 deployed. Sky B1 will be deploying next up.
Constellar Sky B1 separation confirmed.
Next one is for Turkey, FGN 100 D1.
FGN 100 D1 separation confirmed. Pelican
2 getting deployed. One of the highlight of this payload stack for today out of 131 SmallSat CubeSats. Next one is JD1 by Utah.
separation confirmed.
JD1 deployed, manifested by UTIAS Space Flight Laboratory. Again, two Flock 4Gs, 32 and 17 coming up for manifested by Planet Labs. And then we will be having AE1D for D-orbit. Meanwhile, as right now we are getting some views from the payload back again. Actually, this is the fun part. We videos get deployed. Now, as you guys enjoyed the view, are enjoying the view, and keep hearing, have a keen ear to the call outs there. I'm just taking a quick 2 seconds of break because my cup got empty of water. I have to fill it up, and I'm just coming back in just 2 minutes.
AE1D separation confirmed. Flock 4G 29 separation confirmed. Flock 4G 20 separation confirmed. Flock 4G 26 separation confirmed. Fusion 1, separation confirmed. CG, separation confirmed. Flock 4, G30, separation confirmed. Flock 4, G18, separation confirmed. Flock 4, G27, separation confirmed. JC, separation confirmed. Flock 4, G1, separation confirmed. JD2, separation confirmed. Flock 4, G28, separation confirmed.
Welcome to myself back on my streamers only. I'm back, guys, with a cup full of water. How many got deployed? We are still approximately 1 hour. Forget
1, separation confirmed.
layer 1 separation confirmed. Now flock 4G11 coming up. So what I was saying, that as you might have been noticed, that the payload deployment started from a little earlier from the stated time, although those timelines stated on their website is all time in approximate, but I guess they reached the target orbit earlier, so for that they started to payload deployment earlier. I think W2 got deployed as well right now, or Ray got deployed by Inversion Space Company. Next up is Ion SCV, Eminent Emmanuel. Hopefully we will be getting the call out. It will take a little bit of time, nearly 60 seconds for the next one. We are less than that right now. Ion SCV for Eminent Emmanuel. Then followed by that, we'll again have flock 4G, 12, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 2, 4 getting deployed back to back flock 4Gs. It's quite intriguing that with this program, so many satellites, small sats, we can send and to enter into the space industry and to advance our technical, like to meet our technological needs as we want. With this program initiation, you don't have to like being dependent on one provider, that what service they are giving, that only you have to manage with. Once again, just a request, guys, as we are waiting for the next payload deployment, that if you felt we somewhat achieved adding value to your viewing experience, and for the sake of my effort, please consider liking this video. It really helps YouTube's algorithm to bring more such space fans like you. And
on SCV Eminent Emmanuel, separation confirmed.
There we go.
4G12, separation confirmed. Flock 4G5, separation confirmed.
Now all these are flocks 1. So you liking the stream, it also helps YouTube's algorithm to bring more space fans, as I said, and also to others so that they can find this stream out. And also it will help us to build a community together.
Flock 4G6, separation confirmed.
So that's a request we have, you guys. Also consider subscribing to us.
Flock 4G7, separation.
As you can see that we strive hard and to give our best effort to bring you streams packed with stats, details, and insights. So yours a little kindness will make our day, and we would be incredibly grateful for your support. I guess that flock 1's back to back is getting done. Next up, we think we will be having MBZ SAT deployment by Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center. And upon that, again, like nearly 20 minutes or 21 minutes kind of, we will be in a closed phase and no payload deployment will be happening during that time. And this is also again approximate time which I'm saying. Maybe they can start deploying again a little earlier from their stated time on their website. So the time at T+1 hour and 41 minutes and 22 seconds, we will have the third time ignition of the second stage, also known as SES3, and followed that burn will last for a quick 1 second and the MVAC engine will again shut down. That is for the third time in today's flight, and also known that event will be known as SECO 3. Then again, it's not payload deployment is not again coming into effect with that.
4G8, separation confirmed.
More 2 flocks are there, then we will be having the MBZ set to be getting deployed. So what I was saying, that upon completion of the SECO 3, again the vehicle will be second stage with the payload on board will be again in another period of coast phase. Again, maybe it's for 20 and 15, like 35 minutes of coast phase. Then the second stage will again ignite. That is for the fourth time in today's flight. And that burn will last for 1 second again. And we will be having the SECO 2. That is the second stage MVAC engine will finally shut down. It's not final shutdown, but for the sake of this payload deployment, it will be shutting down that time. And upon that, again after 2 minutes from SECO 2, SECO 4, what I am saying, SECO 4, again after SECO 4, after 2 minutes from that event, we will be starting to again have the payload deployment, starting with plan S, connect IoT 7 deployment, followed by Lemur 2. Right now we are waiting for the MBZ SAT deployment. Confirmation for that is awaiting. MBZ SAT is for UAE, which is manifested by Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center.
Flock 4G4, separation confirmed.
That was the last one. These back-to-back flock ones to be getting deployed. Now we have to wait for nearly 5 minutes kind of, or less than that, and less than 5 minutes, and we will have the MBZ set to get deployed. But why they are showing the second stage right now? Maybe they will be having the ACS3 right now. And also a point I want to highlight here, that today in most of our launch coverages, I do mention about the altitude in which the satellites are getting deployed. Today I didn't mention it because, as you can see, these orbits are different for every, like not every, but a batch of satellites. They are getting deployed in specific orbit, then another in another orbit, depending on their needs and their operational functionality, how they will be operating it. So that's why I didn't mention the altitude for the payload deployment, or else I would have took another 1 hour to find those details for each payload, that where they will be deploying those satellites in which altitude. So better to come on stream and to be with you guys. So I didn't search about that. Maybe if I would have searched, I could have found the answers for those. But generally, it's like I heard when I was like studying about this launch and was going through for the payload research thing, they are mostly like 500 kilometers altitude. Higher is there also, lower is there also. But in general, as an average, you can take it like 500 kilometers of low Earth orbit, sun-synchronous orbit. Right now you can see a little bit of horizon over the Earth, that thin layer of atmosphere over the Earth. You can see the vehicle is in a ascent phase as it ascends to its target orbit. Upon reaching the orbit, that MBZ satellite will be getting deployed. As I said, there is a little time in between. My phone will be dying in just few seconds. It's 1%. I forgot to make it on charge as I was preparing for this stream.
MBZ-SAT, separation confirmed.
There we go. MBZ satellite got deployed. Well, they are even showing this one as a logo of them. Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center. Right now, as I said, like we have to wait for 20 minutes of coast phase, and this also ends the first set of batch to be getting deployed. Now the next batch will be getting deployed. That was the first batch getting done. What I was saying that now we have to wait for 20 minutes. Then the SES3 will be happening, followed by SECO 3. Then again, like as I said, 35 minutes, 20 and 15. Yes, 35 minutes of coast phase. Then SES4 and SECO 4. Then again we have to wait for more 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Then again the second batch of payload deployment will take place, starting with the deployment of Connecta IoT 7 Plan S. So within this course phase time, maybe I should be charging my phone so that I can have a track of the payload deployment. So the last satellite in the first batch of satellite deployment was MBZ, starting with the GenSat 1. Now the second batch, as I mentioned, it will be starting with the Plan S, and the final will be the Firefly 2 by Pixel. That will conclude. Whoa, that's a nice view. It's the sun rays falling on that second stage. Yes, it looks amazing. Actually, see, this is the main fun part, and I always stay back or to watch the stream for this only. Like the payload deployment, it looks so fascinating. This kind of things, yes, of course, the launch is exciting, but this kind of things you won't be getting to see during the launch, no. So it's better to stay back and to have a little patience to see this marvel of mankind, what we have achieved. Now I won't be able to play that, although many of satellites got deployed, but still I wanted to keep playing that payload slide details so that you guys can, who are joining us now, they can get to know about the payloads and how they look like. But unfortunately I can, because we are getting some good views from the second stage with the payload on board. So for that, better to have these views, because this is more exciting than that. Now just give me a couple of seconds. I will make my phone on charge. Okay, so that we are in a course phase right now. We are waiting for the SECO 3 and again SES 3, SECO 3 followed by SES 4 and SECO 4. Upon that, we have to again wait for nearly 2 minutes or what I said. Now my phone got died. I'm not remembering, but we have to wait for certain minutes, like not so much. But after that, they will be start deploying with the Plan S satellite. So until that time, let me charge my phone. So I'm just catching you guys in just couple of seconds here. Only have to put my charger. So stay tuned. Oh well, I'm back again. We got some all of a sudden. I was just looking at the screen. It was a nice view which we got. Again, that view. This I was talking about. Would like to welcome Il Mapa Mondo. I guess I pronouncing your name in the right way. If not, please pardon me. Thanks for tuning in, and it's a privilege to have you with us. And it's thanks for telling that even AI is recommending us. Really happy that you joined us. Hopefully, you are looking after any specific satellite to be getting deployed, and then you came at the right time, maybe I guess, or else you would have missed it because already the first batch of the payload deployment is done. We are right now waiting for 2 SES startups and shutdown. SES 2, so excuse me, SES 3 and 4. So those two we are waiting. And if you want to know more about the satellites, then you can go back into the, like, to scroll back, not scroll, seek back into the video to a section where I was discussing about the payload details. That was an overview one, but during the initial course phase, after the orbital insertion, like nominal orbit insertion happened, then I started to talk about the satellites in more details. So there you can, if you want to know about them, you can see back there. But really happy that you joined us, and hopefully you are still with us, because I don't know, you are not saying anything anymore. We are missing two of our moderators. One of our moderator who is a little like precious to have, he somehow joined us, but after the launch maybe he is busy, so he left us. Another moderator was there, maybe that moderator fell asleep, because I know this moderator we are having to, that moderator, this part of the stream is extremely boring. And another two moderators, Paprika and Fairmint, we do miss you, both of them. Mostly Paprika, who is keen about these launches and satellite, as he is young, so he is so much asking questions and to know things, saying, also informing me. I hope Paprika and Fairmint both are doing well. No, we are, what can I say during this time? Is this that we missed the New Glen's launch. It was on Jeff Bezos' birthday that day, but unfortunately they couldn't make it. Now, a peculiar thing which I saw for the first time, really, I don't know whether Blue Origin people are a little immature or something. I'm sorry to say that, but it felt to me like this. It's my personal opinion. The 45th Weather Squadron already said it before, the day when they scrubbed it on 13th. It was known that on 14th the weather won't be good for them, favorable for them to have a launch. There was no issues with the booster recovery site, so there was no problem with that, but the launch violations were there, and for 3 specific launch violations, 70% of that, also 70% probability of violation. But still, yesterday, like, they gave that we will be targeting today, and also stating that maybe we will be missing the launch window for the unfavorable weather over here. So if you guys are thinking that you will be getting to be missed, and moreover it's not like 10% probability of violation, it is 70%, why to target and why to say even that we are targeting? First, they are not even deciding on their own, like confirming that what they will be doing. Then again, after 2 hours, they said, no, today we won't be, we will be targeting on 16th, because again for 15th one, they are having, according to the 45th Weather Squadron weather report, there will be again some risk for the booster recovery site and the Atlantic Ocean. So they skipped that day. So at least this they did good. At least they didn't again thought to have to take a try again on this 15th. So finally again on 16th, again the time is same at 1 a.m. Eastern time, 6 hours UTC. Again, the launch window is also same, the period is same for 3 hours. These views are so cool, and I hope you saw that chunk of ice floating away from there. Although seeing these ice formations, it scares me. What happened last year during that Starlink 9-3 mission, which made to have those 15 days to have Falcon 9, like to being Falcon 9 grounded as it was undergoing an FAA investigation. Now, as I said before, we are waiting for the next set of MVAC ignition and shutdown that is on the second stage engine. That will be SCS 3 and SECO 3. Followed that, again we have to wait for some minutes. We will be having the SCS 3 and 4. Would like to welcome one of our most hilarious friend over here, who really makes such like humorous jokes and with such normal things. Thanks for joining us, Claudia. And I guess it's the second time or maybe the first time you joined us on live. Yes, indeed, it's amazing views we are getting from second stage. Mostly from the second stage we get amazing views because, and when it is a daytime launch, and because that time only we can get to see the Earth in a good way, good possible way. Otherwise, during the night we don't get such good views. Yes, of course. This is the what I can say. This is the quality of you. Even simple things you say like this, it makes me like to have a smile on my face. Yes, Earth is still moving. No matter the rocket is moving, also Earth is moving. Also, Earth doesn't stops. Yes, actually, that is a good question you asked. Yes, it is always like this for any satellites. It's not for today's mission only. If you have followed other launches for Starlink or any other like launch of any other satellite launch providers from their end, that they do wait because it has to be like that payload has to be reached to a specific orbit, then only they can deploy the satellite, as its whole what can I say, its whole objective will be getting like missed, because they are programmed and made and built like in such a way that they can perform in that certain orbit only and to give valuable data back to Earth. So it has to be in a specific orbit then only, and right now as you are seeing that we are waiting for that. We are in a coast phase again. For 2 times this second stage engine will be igniting, shutting down, then again it will be waiting for some minutes to reach the target orbit, but it's a short time that time, and then again the payload, the second batch of payload deployment will begin, because each satellite has specific qualities and the way it works, so it has to be anyhow on a specific orbit so that it can fulfill its objective for which it is made, and to provide us the needed things for which we are sending those satellites. Now we are about 1 minute away for the third relight of the SES 3 event, that where the second stage will be relighting for the third time in today's flight. And following that, we will be having a quick 1 second of burn, and then again SECO 3. It's all our pleasure, Claudia, to have you with us, and we really appreciate you that you indulged in talking with us and asked some questions which you are having some doubt. We really appreciate, and we are looking forward that you will keep asking such questions, so that, because it's a learning process for me as well, because I'm not a rocket science known person or something. So with your guys asking me questions, I am also learning, so I really appreciate that.
And that's confirmation of a good orbit following our third burn. We'll take another break before the next batch of payload deployments begins at about T plus 2 hours and 17 minutes. We'll come back just before the fourth relight of the MVAC engine, which should occur about 2 minutes before the next deploy sequence. See you then.
But I think you heard, Claudia, that they said again nominal orbit. They mentioned about that. They are mentioning for this reason only, that during that time only that orbit is being achieved, and right now it's for this nominal orbit is for the course phase, okay? But other times when these orbits are getting reached, like this way only, the satellites are getting deployed. So for that we have to wait. So for today's flight, it's like it went all good as of now. Today's SpaceX did adjusted their liftoff time 1 time, but they stick to that. And I said you that it's a common trend. Generally at the Vandenberg flight, there will be no such delays, which it happens in Space Launch Complex or Kennedy Space Launch Complex 40 and Kennedy Space Center flights at the East Coast. Here I don't know why they are a little bit punctual, but yes, of course, provided there is no exceptional circumstances, like yes, there is a real serious issues with the weather, they doesn't delay over Vandenberg flights. So today we had a liftoff of the Falcon 9, launching 131 payload, out of which a first batch of payload deployment is already done. This 131 payloads of microsats and CubeSats on board Falcon 9 launched from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base at 2:09 p.m. Eastern Time, 11:09 a.m. Pacific Time. Followed that, we had all the events, general event which happens during a launch. We like to be mentioning out of those is that we had, up until now, we had all the 3 second engine relight and shut down. We are awaiting for the fourth one. Following that, as you heard, like 2 minutes, we have to wait for the coast phase again, and upon that we will be again to have that the second batch of deployment at a stretch and getting done with the stream. You guys are not even, those who are there is not coming to even say something with me. How much I will be talking on my own. I said everything about like starting from the stats for the launch to the satellite details, everything. Well, it's worth mentioning also from, as I said, the stats, I mentioned it there, but once again I'm repeating that today's landing marked the first land landing of this year, starting with the landing zone 4. Prior to today's landing, all the landings were on the drone ship, with 6 drone ship landings for this year. Now with today's landing, they are having the 7th landing for this year up to now, like up to date. And today's mission is the 3rd non-Starlink mission of this year. Now the next one, the 4th non-Starlink mission is coming up, the Blue Ghost mission 1, that will be deploying the Firefly Aerospace lunar lander, which will be carrying 10 experiments on board from NASA, and also a lunar lander from iSpace. Also, that mission is separately known as Hakuto RM2. Previous one was Hakuto RM1, which failed. Hopefully they will succeed this time. And both are like lunar exploring landers. So with that Blue Ghost mission 1, they will be having the 4th non-Starlink mission of this year. And today's landing also marked the 81st overall ground landing for SpaceX. It also marked the 378th Falcon 9 landing to date, with 397th SpaceX overall landing to date. today's one is the second one from the west coast for this year. As of now, most of the launches is from the east coast only. 6 launches. Excuse me, 5 launches. Not 6, because today's one itself is the 7th one. And as of now, the drone ships, they're having like one landing on Of Course I Still Love You, 2 on Just Read the Instructions, and 3 on A Short Fall of Gravitas. And with today's mission, landing zones 1 saw its first landing for this year, and overall it was the 23rd landing on landing zone 4. So that was the overall count as of now from where SpaceX acquired the landing zone 4. Excuse me. Pardon me, I'm feeling a little sleepy. Couldn't sleep last night for New Glenn again. Today for this one I couldn't sleep. After this again, Blue Ghost is there. I hope this way, if I will be working a real ghost, I will be turning out in a real ghost. Now we're waiting for the 4th relight of the MBAC engine on the 2nd stage in today's mission. Those of you are there on our stream right now and who are a little fond about the stats, you guys can check out our X handle. I recently started to post the stats. Previously I used to discuss them on the stream itself only, but right now I'm trying to post them. It's getting a real hard for me, although I'm doing it for you guys, like, so that you guys can have a good insight of about the launch. But look, it's everything I am doing on my own, starting from designing the thumbnail to making the stats, everything. So it does take a little bit of time more from me, but still I'm doing so. So if you guys will be having a look over there for the stats, if you are a fan of numbers and figures, then I will feel that my work is getting justified. So that's a thing I just said. And mostly on our X handle we are posting about any upcoming updates, launch and coverages, everything we are posting there, so you can keep a track of the space affairs things going on there only. Although we are not streaming on X yet, because as of now my infrastructure is not such, I'm not having such infrastructure that I can run multiple streams. Sooner, with the help of your guys, maybe with your support, I will be able to do so. So that time you can have the stream to watch at on X as well. And also maybe I will be switching to Twitch as well. I was thinking, because some people were saying me, like some of our audience, that I should be considering Twitch as well to stream. But anyhow, right now I'm not having the infrastructure and I don't want to put burden on other aspects of my life. When you guys will be supporting me and I will be capable, I will be doing so. There is no doubt about it. So I think it's time. No, it's not the time, it's still there. Also, I would like to say this, because when I was working with those payload details for today's Transporter 12, I did saw that there were so many other small sats, or the satellites you can say, that were meant to be launched on Transporter 12, but maybe for some reason they didn't got to make it up with on the Transporter 12, and I guess they are shifted to Transporter 13. So those who are not aware of this, I just wanted to highlight that point, because many websites are stating many satellites, but when I'm searching about that in a deep way, then I'm getting to know that they are not even launching on Transporter 12. The actual list of the payload is of course on X, but I'm just saying about other websites which are a little get to be misguiding you. Maybe they are not updating for their website for that only. They are not purposely doing, I'm not saying that, but as they are not updating their websites for that, maybe they had that manifest from long ago when they planned it to launch on the Transporter 12, but unfortunately they couldn't make it, so it still stayed there, and then they didn't update the website, and it's still showing those satellite names in their website. So just to keep you on a right track, I just mentioned that, not to get confused. And yes, upcoming is we are having an EVA also on 16th, Spacewalk 91. Nick Hague and Sunny Williams will be getting out from the space station. So it's a busy week going on. Like we did had our first attempt which got scrubbed for New Glenn, then coming up is the Starship, then the spacewalk. So many things are happening back to back. In between this, I'm not counting Starlink launches and this other launches. These are always there and regular. And moreover, as Elon said, maybe this year we can possibly see 180 launches. So you can imagine how fast they will be launching SpaceX this year. Already we did got surprised by their launch cadence last year. Now this year it will be more high. So they already started their year with a bang, but they started on the 3rd of January for their launches of this year. Previous year also it was like this. I guess it was 7-9 mission of the Starlink last year. With that they started 2024 launches. Now this year they started with Thuraya 4. That was a satellite from UAE. Here we have also a satellite from UAE. We are getting near, but we still do have a little time for the SES 4, followed by a quick short burn, and then we will be having the SECO 4. And upon having SECO 4, we will be waiting for nearly 2 minutes of another course phase, and finally the second batch of the payload deployment will begin. And it will be in a stretch, no more coast phase or no more SES or like the relight and the shutdown of the second stage. That is the final one for the in the context of the payload deployment. That will be happening the 4th one, and upon that the payload deployment will be in a stretch and getting done. And with that we will be also wrapping the stream. I'm just streaming, although maybe many stopped their stream, but I am streaming because I know some people who did work on these satellites. They are so much excited to see their hard work to getting a final successful end, getting deployed. So for that only I'm streaming for such long. Well, one of our moderators said it right that many people are excited about the space launches and these things, but majority doesn't care that much. Hopefully they will be getting to have some excitement. Actually they are not getting into this thing, so for that it seems like it's boring stuff for them. But if once you will be trying to put your head in this matter, I'm pretty sure that it's hard to let it go. Once again, just to recap about the payload details. Today's payload consists of 131 payloads, including CubeSat, microsats, and orbital transfer vehicles carrying 30 of these payloads, 14 of which will be deployed later at time as mentioned by SpaceX. Now I think that, and what I can decipher from this is that they will be deploying it is in this second phase of the payload deployment. That's also after the SES4 and SECO4, because they need to attain such orbit. Although the number, it seems like big enough of 131 payloads, but it's not such big if you will be comparing with the SpaceX launch of Transporter 1 only. There they launched 143 back in 2021. So that was a record for them. And up until today, like if we won't be counting today's launch, SpaceX had launched previously 13 rideshare missions to date. Now if we'll be counting, it got 14 with today's launch, and out of them 12 are transporter flights, of course counting today's one, and to another different program for the rideshare missions known as Bandwagon. We got to see the Bandwagon 2 in the last year, back in December. Now all together these missions have like made SpaceX to launch about, previously if I will be saying, because today after launching 131 the count will be changing, but previously it was 110 1100 payloads, but with today's launch it will be getting 1231 payloads to be launched for more than maybe 150 countries this time it's getting. Or maybe there are some repetitive countries like who are opting for a launch for most of the missions, rideshare missions. So maybe 30, previously as SpaceX mentioned it was 130 customers they catered, but it can go to, with this launch, getting 140 as well. Well, I got to know, Angry Bird, that you felt asleep. I was saying that only, but no issues. We will be getting done, I guess, in 40 minutes or something. Yes, I'm a little tired. I'm a little, what can I say, doubtful about how I'll be able to make the next one, Blue Ghost Mission 1. Again, it's in the morning only here. Oh dear, it's hard to understand this comment. Actually, no, I am not happy with my internet connection. I need a more faster one, and that will help us also to simultaneously stream on different platforms. And I'm not smart than you. You are smarter because you can make such like jokes out of simple things. That's a creativity you are having. So you are smarter than me. Really, at the very first time when you used to comment, it used to take me like some days to understand what you tried to say to me. But really, I'm getting now a little accustomed, and also maybe it's from your end that you are saying these things, even still maintaining to make jokes in a simple way so that I can understand. I see up, I think more 40 minutes kind of is like from now, I think more 30 minutes is there. Anyhow, you will be sleeping. What is there, Angry Bird? You can sleep now also. I know that these things are not interesting for you. I'm just keeping the stream, as I said before, that many times in our stream only we saw people who worked on these satellites only. They came and they were excited about to see the deployment. So for that, I'm keeping up the stream so that if there will be anyone like that, so that they can see at least the payload deployment. Oh, this view is nice. Really, that was looking such nice. And I guess this one is the SCS 4, and that burn has to be lasted for only 1 second. SCS 4 is done, and SECO is always done. We got the call out for the nominal orbit insertion also.
A good call out there telling us that the fourth relight of the MVAC already happened and we are in a good orbit. Followed by this will be the next batch of payload deployments. And as a reminder, today we are delivering 131 payloads across 101 deployments, including CubeSats, microsats, and orbital transfer vehicles carrying 30 of those payloads, 14 of which will be deployed at a later time. We have already deployed the first batch of 79 and have 22 left to go.
So as of now, if they are still saying those 14 satellites will be deployed later time, I guess what the indicated timeline they gave on their website, I think beyond that time they will be deploying that.
Deployment sequence beginning in about 2 minutes.
It seems to me. I'm not sure about that.
If you're interested, a full
and
payloads are on SpaceX.
We did, as I said, you also maybe you heard from the call, like from the commentary there.
There are some really neat payloads.
So we did had the SCS-1, that is the fourth relight of the second stage engine, that is the MVAC engine on the second stage, and that burn lasted just for 1 second. We did got this time to see that happening. Previously we didn't got to see those burns. This time we got to luckily see them, and we did had after that 1 second burn, we did had the fourth shutdown of the second stage MVAC engine known as SECO 4. Now we are waiting for a 2 minutes off right now. I think it got less than getting 1 minute or something. We have to wait, and then the second batch of payload deployment will take place.
We have a pretty sweet view of the Earth behind our payload stack.
Phone got charged as well, so now I can look into the satellite deployment timeline. Great views there.
Connector IOT7, separation confirmed.
Payload deployment started. The second batch of the payload deployment.
Separation confirmed. C-up SatGas, separation confirmed. Firefly 3, separation confirmed. Centauri 8, separation confirmed. Heo 01, separation confirmed. Lima 2 Wilson, separation confirmed.
So we are at Lima 2 Wilson, which got deployed right now. Next,
IoT 8, separation confirmed.
connector IoT 8, Plan S satellite got deployed. Next up, Lemur 2, Star Fox.
Star Fox, separation confirmed.
The 6 of the Lemur satellites are having different names.
NorSat 4, separation confirmed.
NorSat for Norway, for like Norway, it got deployed, NorSat 4. Next one is Lemur 2 round tripper.
Confirmed. Centauri 7, separation confirmed.
Centauri 7, separation confirmed.
ICEYE 1, separation confirmed.
ICEYE 1 deployed. Next up, ICEYE 2.
ICEYE 2, separation confirmed. ICEYE 3, separation confirmed.
Back to back 3 ICEYE 3, 3 of the ICEYE satellite got deployed. Next one is Lemur 2 Ariane to be getting.
Ariana, separation confirmed.
Okay, I said it wrong. Ariana, it is. Lemur 2 Ariana deployed. Next up again, ICEYE 4.
Separation confirmed.
There you have it. Next one is Firefly 1 by Pixel.
Firefly 1, separation confirmed. Connector IoT 5, separation confirmed.
Now we are left with just last 3 of them listed on SpaceX website. Connect IoT 6 coming up. Lemur 2 Alicia. Then Firefly 2 by Pixel. And with that, we will be wrapping up our coverage for now, as we are getting near to the end of the webcast. Once again,
IoT 6, separation confirmed.
would like to thank all of you who joined us today.
2 Alicia, separation confirmed.
Just a quick reminder, today's launch marked the 435th SpaceX successful overall launch, with the landing being the 397th overall successful landing to date. So I guess it's done. We did got done with the set of second stage of the deployment sequence.
Transporter 12 payloads.
Oh, well, they did.
All of our rideshare customers for entrusting us with their spacecraft today. A staggering 131 payloads across 101 deployments.
What I was thinking that they will be deploying those 14 which they were mentioning later on. So that is not happening. Like they deployed all of them. So with that, we will wrap up our coverage for now. Be sure to check out our social media handle on X for latest happening in the space industry and updates on upcoming launches. And also, as I mentioned, like we are now trying to post the stats over there as well, so you can keep a track over there. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We appreciate everyone being a part of today's launch. Wishing you a nice week ahead as it's filled with more exciting launches coming up. Starship is waiting by, New Glenn is waiting by, so hope they will be like making us to get amazed. Once again, thanks for watching. This is AstroYonder Live and me Dipto signing off for now, and we will see you next time.